Okay, we are back yet again in the Forever World. There we go. Okay, we're back, and we finally can finish this area. I hope we can get it done today. In addition to that, I have been working on our plan for a while, and I think I may have just gotten a building that I'm happy with to have as our first real build in this world. Give me one sec. Let me show you what I've been working on. So, as you all know, I obviously have a test world to make sure that designs and such all work fine and dandy. And if I open my schematics, we can see we have a training hall. Lee, how you doing? Yes, I am finally back. Still on my Superflat World. And yeah, here we can see what the plan is going to be. I'm doing just fine. I have had a really good day and finally back, and after my creative block I'm finally here and got a nice building that I'm planning to create, at least. Hopefully today. I don't really have all the materials for this right now, but we can get started. But yeah, this is our plan. Now, I'm sorry for the bluish hue that's through the Lightomatica, but yeah, this is going to be our trading hall, our first building. Now for the banners, we are going to change them up a bit. Yeah, I do definitely do a lot with the limited materials. I mean, um, I've gotten some good work, but this is definitely going to be one of the harder problems, as this uses a lot of copper in the roof, as you can see, and I believe I don't have a single piece of copper, so I need to actually create a ground farm to get copper. Yay! But yeah, this actually incorporates a few new building tricks I'm trying to work with. First of all, this isn't really my style, at least the outside the interior. If we go inside, as you can tell, this looks a bit more like something that I'd build. But in addition to that, I'm also trying to have it a bit more lifelike, which I also don't usually do. For example, we have a lot of like banners at the top. Now, in the building they're all white, but for our actual build we are going to change it up a bit, have some more colourful banners, some different banners to have it look a bit nicer. As you can tell, this uses a few, let's just say, not quite illegal builds. For example, the gates, as you can see, they are a bit more fluid, as we will use a debug stick in survival. I hope the mod works um, to make it a bit more fluid and yeah, just look a bit nicer. Because if we have them just in the vanilla position, they kind of look a bit weird, and I didn't find a better way to do it. So yeah, we don't talk about that. But yeah, that's our plan. We have a big list, so we take a look here. Of course, grass blocks, we have those. That's not the problem. Stone, pretty easy too. We do have a cobblestone farm, but as we need stone, we will need to either smelt it or do it manually. Spruce slabs should be fine as well, but yeah, this is definitely going to be a bottleneck. And in addition to that, we use a block which I believe we don't actually have right now. As in my plan, we have a few dark oak things, and I don't think we currently have a dark oak sapling. So we definitely need to work on that. Didn't I go here with my horse? Kind of thought I did. Welp. Okay, let's take a quick gander. I'm just gonna go through the tunnel. Don't really want to fight with the slimes right now. But yeah, we are going to have one of each villager in there for the tradings of enchantment books. The other villagers will get a different house, and at least how I'm planning to do it, either we change the building up later on and give the librarians a bit more like themed build, but for now this is how we're going to do it. Okay, let's quickly check. Hello Tyson, how you doing? I doubt we have any... Yeah, we don't actually have any dark oak, so we need to hope for the wandering trader to sell it to us, which we can't really control, so... difficult. Pretty difficult. Oh, another thing I want to show you all. Lee, you've already seen this, but do you think it's really cool? Let me quickly change my scene here. Change to this. There we go. Now, as you'll know, this is a modded version of Minecraft, and if I quickly show you my mod rent here, this is the version that I use for this, pretty clearly named. We do have 11 pages of mods. Most of them are client-side, so they technically aren't required. Without some of them, my resource packs would break, but that wouldn't be crucial for me to update. However, if we go to, I believe page 5 starts the first, no? There, like some of these add new blocks. So if these aren't updated, we cannot update our game. Of course, now you could go through each and every single mod and check for them, if they've been updated. Or, you're a bit cheeky, and you make a Python script that I can also show you right in here that actually checks if each of your mods have been updated, which is really, really cool. So we can actually delete that. That file is out of date. We have one list with our critical mods, so each of these ones that add new blocks, new items, things that would get deleted or break. These are their slugs, that's how it's apparently called. I didn't know that. This is basically just how the mod is referred to in-game. For example, if you run a /give command, the thing you put behind that. So for Minecraft, the slug is Minecraft. Shocker, I know. So we have a few here, as you can tell. And then we have optional mods, so mods that are client-side. To be fair, I definitely need to move some of these mods over to the critical mods because they are, for example, the Fabric API and stuff like that, that we definitely need to run these mods. But one thing after the other. So if we now open our command prompt and quickly change our directory to Minecraft, if I wouldn't fit finger that, craft mod check. Now we run. Yo, Block, how you doing? And now we run the getmods.python. We can see it loads all of our mods, which is a few. And then it goes through each mod and lists me all possible versions that these mods have. So for example, we can see for the first one, the lighter trim is right here. Oh, my overlay isn't here. I'm so sorry. Thank you for the follow. We're back to 200. Let's go. You just saw the bit there. So for example, we can see here for the Elytra Tims mod pack, it adds anything from 1.19.4 all the way to 121.8, and then a few snapshots, and it runs through all of those infos for each mod. And in the end, it will tell me what is the newest version I can update to either have all critical mods, or if it's there, which would be even better, all mods, so even the optional ones. So I'll let this run for a sec, we'll start playing, and when it's finished I'll show you how it looks in the end. Now, I did change the code in the end, so it doesn't show it like it used to, because in my first version, the getmods v1, it showed it, in my opinion, a bit better, but I just didn't feel like coding it back, so yeah, for now it doesn't do that. But I'll just leave it off screen for a sec. Run. Switch back to the game. Here we are. Now, I think it's best we just start farming, because it will take a while to get all of this. me just quickly pull up a list, and yeah, this won't work because you are trying to find the blocks from the what we have here. Let me just rewrite it to a file, so I can just pull this up. It's a bit better for me. You can't see it, but the overlay is a bit buggy, so I don't like to use that. Okay. So, let me just put up a chest. I almost don't have any more wood, which is really bad. So just... there we go. Pop that there. And, oh! The, code is already finished. Wow, that's pretty fast. Would you look at that? So you can see here, how it now says that the highest version with full support is 121.1. I'm sorry for the lines, no clue why it does that. But yeah, this is how it looked for me. So really cool. Now know that I can play in the 1.21.1 version, which we currently are doing. So yeah, really cool. Really love the code. Happy how it works, and very glad that I didn't break anything. So let's take a quick gander at our list here. Grass blocks 800, and of course it doesn't tell me what that is in stacks. Great. Love it. Let's go to the end. I'm sorry, I'm a bit through the wind today. I'm not too sure what to do. Let's go repair the shovels, finish the hole, and then we'll start farming. Or is there something we can do right now? Oh, we need to farm a lot of quartz. I did not think that through. Because I'm using andesite, and if I'm not mistaken, andesite is cobblestone and diorite. Yeah, and diorite is cobblestone and quartz. Great. Love it. Wrong side. Okay, let's go over to the death trap. Whoop. Let's go. So, this is what we finished in the last stream, and actually started in the last stream as well, so... yeah. We now have an enderman farm. It is quite deadly, to be fair. Oh, wait, why isn't that turned on? There we go. I was wondering why it was looking so weird. Just go through. There we are. Here we are, the deadly farm. Whoop. We lost some of our very good gear, so that's a shame, but can't really change that now. It doesn't have sweep. No, it doesn't have sweeping edge. Shame. How's Mike doing up here, by the way? By the way, this is Mike the Endermite. Just showing up there. Let's give them a few more wax and then we should be good to go. Yep, great. Oh, another thing I also did for the trading hall, sort of. Obviously, as this is my Forever World, I don't really want to get ripped off, which kind of makes sense. So I went through each possible trade we can get for books and made an Excel list to check what is the cheapest price we can get. Because there is a certain way that the levels are calculated, so it takes the level of the enchantment you get. So for example, Mending only has one version, so it's 1. But for something like Unbreaking 3, it'd be 3. So it checks for that, puts that into a calculation, it times it by 2. No wait, was it times by 3? I believe it times by 3, and then it adds 2. That's what it was. Hello. There we go. So, it does that, makes a calculation. That's the lowest you can get. The highest you can get, I believe, was the level times 5 plus 6, something like that. It is capped at 64, so it can't get even more ripped off, but I obviously want to have the cheapest trades, so the stream where we reset those trades is going to be quite long and quite annoying. Just gonna say that in advance. I can also show that to you. As you can see here, I also categorized them. So we have, for example, Protection 4. These are the protection enchantments. Then over here we have modded ones. No clue why the title isn't there. There we go. We have our curses, stuff for tools, universal ones, so mending and unbreaking, armor enchantments and weapon enchantments. And then checks for the version, in this case B2, times 3 plus 2. That's the cheapest you can get. The most expensive, now this is a bit weirdly written because it does an if statement, because as I said, it is capped at 64, so this code also checks that, and it says if it's under 64, show the code, if it's over 64, show 64, so this is basically the code, so it checks for the version, times 13 plus 6, and that is 58, but for example, down here, version 5 would be like 72, but if 72 is over 64, it only shows 64. Also did the middle just because interesting. But if you're looking at this, you might say, okay, but there are a few outliers. For example, the curse has only a version of 1. There isn't a curse of vanishing 2. But why is this 10? How does that make sense? Shouldn't it be 1? Like over here? Shouldn't it be 5? No, because interestingly, that is a treasure enchantment, and treasure enchantments double what they cost. At least that's how it's written in the wiki. So, for example, that is also the case for Mending. Mending only has version number 1, so it's only level 1, but still can only cost the small amount of 10 emeralds. For some reason, I don't think that's true. I I could have sworn I've seen it cheaper, but apparently that's the case. As it's considered a treasure enchantment, it costs double, so it's 10, not 5. So that's the quirk behind that. So we will be, in one stream, going through each list, going through each villager, and only stopping for that enchantment if you get 14 for 4 enchantments, 17 for 5 enchantment, 1, 5, so on and so forth. So it will be really, really great, and it will be a really, really fun stream. Totally. And the sad thing is, I believe that might be one of the upcoming ones, like the the next or the next stream. So it's not too far in the future. So I'm really looking forward to it. Oh, no, it's all that. I was just testing the reflexes of the horse. Trust. So let's quickly head over. And yeah, we do still have quite a big section. However, this time we don't need to make a new XP farm. We should do this a bit quicker. Hopefully. So yeah, this is going to be really, really fun. But sadly, this is also a side of Minecraft that not everyone shows, which I kind of find sad. I mean, I can understand why, like, a YouTuber wouldn't show this. But yeah, as I've said in, I believe, every stream until now, my plan is to fully stream this version for multiple reasons. One reason is I just want to share like the whole experience, not just the cool stuff. I mean, I can totally understand when someone wouldn't watch this because I sure wouldn't. And that is the second reason, because if I could skip this, I would. And I could skip this just by running a command, clearing all the land. So I'm kind of using the stream as a restraint because I know that if I cheat, it gets shown. And because I want to do this in full vanilla, I'm kind of using this as a restraint. And yeah, that's just why we are going to be here for years, breaking dirt. Because that's the second fun part. You technically need to do this whenever you want to do terraforming on top. Sure, you can light this area up, but slimes would still spawn, so you'd need to go through and find all the slime chunks. Now, to be fair, sorry, I have a key for that, so all of these green sections are slime chunks. But that's also a bit... I mean, like, either do it fully, or don't do it, you know? So, that's why we're stuck with this. Great. But luckily, we finally got a villager that trades us good diamond shovels, because as some of you may have been able to tell, this is a Superflat world, and Superflat doesn't have any natural... That's not correct. Almost no natural diamonds. You can get diamond tools through end cities, for example. That's how I got my first tools. But other than that, the only real way is villages. Because you can find raw diamonds in end cities, but it's never enough to really supply yourself with enough tools to last you for a while, so we're kinda stuck here. And I find it funny, like really funny, that someone who plays at my speed... Ooh, one rotator. Yo, buddy, you definitely... Please, for the life of me, sell me dark oak. Look! Can get that, have that, don't need that because I have it, magenta. Magenta. Can I get magenta dye? Red dye, we can get that. White dye, we can get that. Blue dye... Ooh, can we get blue dye? Cornflowers. Can we have... Do we have cornflowers? We do. So we can get all of those. So you're kind of not bringing me anything new. Oh, was it worth a try? No one's all that. No one's all that. There we go. I think what we need to do is make a wandering trader farm. I'm definitely not looking forward to that, but it feels like that's like the only thing you can do. Because what those farms, I don't think you should actually call it a farm, to be fair, but what basically does is, Wandering Trader's AI makes it walk towards bells. So you can kind of make them go somewhere by either using bells or you can just funnel them. And Wandering Traders despawn after 3 days. They stay within your world for 3 days. After those 3 days, they dip. And obviously, that would kind of like mitigate the part of the farm, because you still need to be there for each wandering trader. But that farm makes it so they go into the nether, so they get unloaded, so they don't despawn, which is quite smart, to be fair. I definitely like the idea. But I don't know if I currently have the materials to build that. So much grass. Okay, so we definitely have enough grass blocks, like 800 for sure. Look at this. I just stored this in here because I didn't have no more space in like the normal chest. That's crazy. Unbelievable. Now luckily I have sort of gotten over my like creative block. I did have difficulties getting up with ideas for what to build. It has taken quite a while, but I do finally have some like really cool ideas which I do want to get into this world. Some of which I've already covered, some of which is still a bit in the, let's just say more secretive concept area. Pinterest has helped a lot, and just like checking social media in general, seeing what other people build, from statues over to buildings, and just like little nooks and crannies in their worlds which really look cool. I saw a design for a corner, like a back alley sort of thing. That looked so cool, and I'm definitely going to build that. Like that looked so cool, because it added such life into an otherwise like really boring area, which many people have in their worlds. So I'm really glad I saw that post. I'm not sure whether it was by the original creator. I hope so, because I followed that person. But yeah, Pinterest sadly is like a lot of stolen content, so can't be too sure. What I do have to be fair kind of fascinates me as well, because I see so many people having like Pinterest posts and like mood boards and stuff like that. However, a lot of content on Pinterest is like stolen. You just see a lot of like screenshots people just re-upload They don't gain anything from it, not like you make money from it, you just steal for, like, stealing. It's the same as someone making a photo of the Mona Lisa and then uploading it, claiming it's their own. Because you can so often just see the blatant stealing because it's just a screenshot of the Google homepage after you've Googled for something. I'm just thinking, like, why would you upload that? It's clearly stolen, but Pinterest doesn't give a single fuck. So that's kind of sad. Oh, you can? Really? Oh. Okay, to be fair, I've only made like a Pinterest account a week ago or something, so but yeah, like many people just steal and rip off where it's like, why even bother? I don't get it. I mean, if it were like for the sharing, like you want to bring it to other people, show what you found. Sure, okay, yeah, I kind of get that. But more often than not, people at least appear to try to steal from only one creator, thus sort of making it seem like it's their content. Like, not changing styles, not just sharing for the part of sharing. I don't know. I don't know. But I have also seen like genuine creators on platforms. For example, can't say this enough, this idea, this whole project here is inspired by the YouTuber Mogswamp, who has a world that is almost as old as Minecraft itself. And they also credited a creator from Pinterest, and they have like amazing builds. So already followed them. So they are obviously genuine creators on Pinterest, but still, I don't know if I'd post on there. Just I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes I'm just not too sure whether one should. Wait, we're already over 150 days. Wow. I mean, I joked about this taking 100 days, but this may genuinely take 100 days. That's crazy. The time passes by, that's crazy. Lee, when do you plan to stream next? I have so much time on my hands right now. And then there's no stream. The audacity. The one time I could. Ooh, pencil. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I hope I'm able to hop in. I have, for better or for worse, kind of got my sleep schedule back to being awake when it's American time, so I may actually be able to pop in for once. Balatro? Haven't heard of that. Is it a new game or is it older? Okay, yeah, I kind of figured I shouldn't have asked. Lee, just scrap that. I totally know what you're talking about. Yeah, definitely. I know what you're talking about. What, who wouldn't? Just don't ask for any info, because I have no clue. Okay, let's be honest, like, you're shocked that the person who only streams Minecraft doesn't know a different game than Minecraft? Yeah, crazy. Any game of anything shall be Balatro, the world will soon hear the name Balatro, okay? If you say so. It almost sounds like I need to quickly pause and take a look so I at least know roughly what we are talking about, because I still no clue. Let us check. Bellatro. It's another card game. Okay. It's a deck building roguelike game about playing poker hands. I see. It is a pie. Yeah, I can tell. Okay, yeah, so definitely nothing for me. That's strategy gaming. That's nope. Mm-mm. Not my thing. Was like the other game you and hang on, I'll find the name. I still have the Discord PM. Flumber? I don't know if that person was called Flumber on Twitch as well. The game you two were talking about with the like robot thingy there. Because I remember looking that up as well, and also saw. Yeah, I believe that was it. It also seems like a card game, but to be fair, I have no clue. It's probably like saying Minecraft and Terraria are the same game. Ah. Well, I mean, like Belatra also had like a clown card, so you just the strategic master. I've no clue what probably go on in the game. Ha! Yep. One card game is just like the other. That's gonna get shitstormed. I dare I. Honestly, I might not be joking while saying it's my new favorite game ever. I feel like you said that to like any new card game. Like Inscription, you hyped that up to the moon and back, and now it's like, yeah, Belatro. Right, news before. Okay. Sniffle. Oh, how are you doing? What are you doing down here? That is not where you're supposed to be. Like, come out, buddy. Let's go. Hop to. Can't park there. Can't see how many do we have now? 48. Yep. The Belatro phase has lasted much longer than my Inscription phase. I mean, I wouldn't be able to check, so I guess I'll just have to believe you. Oh, Lee, I have a question for you. You're like the calmest person I know, and I've seen a lot of hate in the last days towards AI. What is your statement? Watch out, one wrong step, and that is going to get you immediately. Fuck AI. Okay, yeah, fair standpoint. Now, follow-up question. Why? Like, would you be one that would use like Clanker? Or do you just hate AI as it is right now? I mean, I've already seen like some wild words for AI. It's definitely a very, let's just say, debated area. Because, for me, I can definitely get why people, like, artists and such, hate AI. Because the companies just take data. There's nothing good about AI. It's extremely unethical, and both because it's literally built for plagiarism, and it's one of the worst things to happen to the environment ever. That is definitely fair. Yeah. Bot banned. Um, I definitely agree. What I have to say though, and I feel like we're gonna have different views on that. I definitely get why you say it. Like, the way AI is ran and how it needs to be, like, just like the cooling alone is wasteful as hell. Like, it wastes, what was like one water bottle worth of water for like one request, which is wild. Um, I think that AI, like just AI as itself, not how it's ran or anything like that, isn't bad. It's the way it's been built that is bad. So, I mean, don't get me wrong, obviously we can't currently cool it a different way, right? But for example, some people hate AI because of AI art. I definitely get why. I'm not saying I don't get why. Um, because of course it is, as you said, it's based on plagiarism. It took art from others and people use it as their own. I personally don't hate AI for this. I hate the artist, or the, like, quote unquote, like, hard quote artist for it, who then try to make it seem like their own. Though, to be fair, I do also use AI almost like daily. ChatGPT, sadly, my bro. It's not like I do like 24/7 conversations, but definitely like wild question you can't find an answer for. For example, my OBS was bugging like crazy today. How did you get over again? Don't answer that, I know why. Um, and it did help, like just finding the answer. But I also do like just Googling itself. It just when I can't find answers for anything, that's when I hop to it. But I get both sides. I get people that like AI. I get people that don't like AI. I like AI because it's easy, it's convenient, and I get why people hate AI because of course it's hurting the environment, it steals from anyone and anything, it definitely causes issues with human development. I mean, I was in how would you say that in English? No clue. I was like in training to become a kindergarten teacher for over 2 years, and what we've learned is that AI obviously hurts the uh, brain's development because it reduces the, I just say, usage of the brain. Um, because obviously humans just don't need to think today. You have a question, you ask AI. You don't know the answer, you ask AI. You do anything with AI because it's easy, because it's convenient, because it's simple to use. You can answer, you can ask on any question. I don't like AI. I'm very strongly against it in most every form. It's definitely fair. I mean, that's the wrong way to start. That sounds like I want to say anything against that. No, I definitely agree. Yeah. Um, I've also noticed how for my own cognitive abilities, it has definitely harmed me when I used it like daily for school stuff like that. I shouldn't say that. That's definitely going to cause issues. I totally didn't use it for school questions. Who would do that? It's. I find it interesting that we are able, as a species, to create something that can more or less artificially. I mean, sure, it only answers the, let's just say, most appropriate answer because it's just ones and zeros, checking what's the most likely letter after the next. Um, I find it interesting that it works, and I'm fascinated by it, which is why I started using it. Because when it like came out for the first few days, I also hated it, but as said, like it's easy, it's simple to use, so I did start using it, and sometimes still do, as said. Um, but I definitely lowered the consumption after the data came out on how wasteful it is, how harmful it is, and how just, well, yeah, harms humans in any single way, in every single way possible. Towards the environment, towards the cognitive abilities, as said, I've noticed that for myself. So I hate how many people apply it to their work, to anything. Like anything today has a chatbot. Like websites that don't even need one have chatbots. And it definitely was just because of the trend, because hey, cool new thing, let's just throw that in and use it. But there's also so much weird and like unreasonable implementation where you genuinely don't need it. I don't know. Funny enough, that also sounds wrong. Interestingly enough, there. Um, what I found out a few days ago is that when someone creates a website, because of how AI gets data, you can implement something to your website called a, what was it? Like a sort of gate. So you could restrain from which pages AI could crawl data. It's very telling that massive corporations are trying to automate creative things that give us power and experience and knowledge instead of trying to automate laborious and meaningless tasks. It's almost like they want to discourage independent thought and encourage us to become blindly following sheep who don't examine their surroundings critically. Yes. Yes, 100%. I definitely agree with that. It is critical how it's very bad how it's implemented in many ways. I definitely agree. Uh, no, I lost my train of thought. Um, website, right. Um, you can implement a gate where it's basically just a file telling crawlers, hey, look, here's our site. This is how the site's tree looks, so how everything is sorted. These sites you can access, these sites you cannot. And shocker, um, crawlers don't give a damn about that file and just do what they want. So people have just started implementing zip bombs to their website. So it's basically you have a decoy subdomain, and when a crawler gains access to that subdomain and crawls what's on it, they download a zip file with like terabytes and terabytes of meaningless data. So people basically just started revolting and just breaking the crawlers, which I do find really funny. And good, of course. Because, yeah, fuck, definitely. I feel like it definitely help a way, like, it help in many ways if they at least follow the guidelines that they were, like, based upon. They just said, like, hey, look, you can get data, but only when you're allowed to, and they just said, yeah, but we want more data, so let me just yoink. And people were just like, okay, yeah, sure, here you go, zip file, open that, and yeah, you're done. So it's funny as hell. Oh no, no, stuck. Do I have food? Yes, I do. Yeah, it's definitely wild. What I also looked into, and that definitely counts under AI, and I definitely hate how it's been implemented. However, I find the concept behind it interesting. How AI generates images. Because I've always wondered, how does an AI generate images, right? And like, don't get me wrong, it does it by stealing data and looking at, as said, just like the messages, it looks like the plausible next pixel that would come in the range that they have, and that's how they generate it. But how they start with it, right? You give the AI. Let me start differently. Most phones right now have a function where you can use AI to remove something out of an image. And bigger programs like Photoshop also have that function where you can basically mark an area and tell it to remove it. And it can more or less look at the image and maybe see, okay, there's supposed to be a tree stump there. And they look in their dataset for tree stumps and see how the like data of the image looks, and then adds that to the image, thus writing over the original image and putting in a tree stump. But how AI generates an image from scratch is they basically get just an image of noise. So just an image of black and white pixels, which is also why almost any image generated by AI is the same size, because they seem to just have like a program that is dead set on generating 1080 by 1080 images. And then you more or less do the same. You tell the AI, hey, that on that image is supposed to be a tree stump. And then it looks at the image, and obviously the noise doesn't have any noticeable pattern. So the AI is just like, okay, I'll look at my data set, look at how the data set for tree stumps looks, and then just start moving around the code to make it align more with what I think it should look like. And does that 70, 80 times, then it has an image out of nowhere by basically telling itself, hey, that noise is supposed to be a tree stump, so let's make it a tree stump. Which I find interesting because it's simple. I can make sense how it works, but genuinely, I would have never come up with that. So, as I said before, I don't like how AI was implemented, I don't like how AI is based on data that it shouldn't have, but I do find interesting how the AI functions. To be fair though, you can't really implement an AI without doing something you're not supposed to do. Like, getting a data set of like millions and millions of messages, can't do that. I'm not saying that what they did is acceptable because otherwise it'd be impossible. It still isn't in any way, shape or form, should in any way, shape or form be allowed that they just get your data and companies just say, hey, for the right amount, your data, I don't give a damn who it goes to. So that's just wrong. Ooh, no you don't. And what am I phone just ring? Who wrote me? No clue. What I also want to do with this world, right? So I've been thinking. I think as it's in a forever world, you will play this forever, and I can't really make this a server. I mean, I obviously could make it a server by either using Essential or hosting it on a server. I don't want to do that. But what I think would be cool is if you'd be able to sort of cooperate with other users who also have a forever world, maybe even a like video series on it, like sort of I do with the streams. And then you could send each other, more or less send, obviously you can't send stuff in Minecraft, but you could somehow, I still don't know how, like share things, like for example written books or something. Now, there are two ways that I could think of doing it, which would either be you share the files, so just send someone the file of, let's just say, a map art or a written book. No clue how that's stored in Minecraft, but in theory. And then the other person can put it into their world and then use a command to get the to get the file. Or the person would also need to recreate it in their own world, and then just for the video, for the stream, make it look like they got the data. Both implementations have their pros and cons. Of course, if you do it through the command way, it not cost any resources on your end, so you have one item and it costs the resources of one person, the person who sends it. Or both make it, which would make it vanilla possible, no commands, nothing. But then it sort of be wasteful because you use up twice the amount of items. Say I'll do map art, the other person would also need to do map art. And for me, someone who, as said, plans to stream everything I do in this world, would need to receive an image but also on stream build the image, which doesn't really make sense. What you could do, I don't know if that's plausible, but what you could do is you get a mod, which probably doesn't exist, but someone could code it, and that mod adds a new block, a new entity, something that you can interact with and give items to. Say a chest or a villager or something, right? You put the item in, item gets deleted. And then you can go into a folder and get another item that is basically encoded in a way to, when it's put into the input of that mod's block, item, entity, whatever, it spits out the item. So more or less vanilla be possible. Of course you'd need to use a mod, but you wouldn't run any commands, you wouldn't need to build it, you wouldn't need to do anything. You just need to send a file that is encoded. I think that'd be like the most legit way to do it without wasting time, without wasting resources, without looking weird. You'd of course need to watch for who sends you items, because technically you could send any items, so you could also send like a command block that auto-places and runs a command to give someone operator or something, so that'd definitely be a problem. Though you could technically just like lock it and make it not be able to send command blocks. But I think that'd be like a really cool... I mean, just in general. Like, say I'm on a world and my friend is on a different world, and I have a row of command blocks. I could just send them the command blocks with the encoded data, or signs, or map art, or whatever, through Minecraft, get a file, send them the file, they get the file, and they instantly have all of the things. That could be really cool. Like a sort of mailbox. Yeah, right, a mailbox. Why wouldn't you... You could just do it with a mailbox. And you could also... Though I don't know how you'd implement that, because you'd then probably need a server, and the person who runs the mod needs... I don't know how Terraria... or if Terraria does that. I sadly don't know. But if you can share items to other people's worlds, then sure, I guess. What you could technically do is, if the mod has access to a server, you could make it so you can put in an in-game name, and then the person instantly receives the item and doesn't even need to share like a file through different media, like Discord or something. Like, you just need sorry, it's really late. You'd need the mod to be able to access the internet and check a server. When you log into a world, it stores your in-game name, so other people can put in your in-game name. The mod would need to be able to register that someone has sent a file with your in-game name, and then put it into your inbox. You can make it so it has a preview, so it doesn't auto-execute like a command block or something. So you could be able to deny blocks or items. And as soon as you receive it, it just like normally store. But it only stores if you accept it. If you don't accept it, it doesn't store. But again, then you'd need internet access for that mod to be able to work. And I don't have a spare server lying around. But that could be like a really cool idea. Because, I mean, sure, map arts get stored with the numbers. I know, but you could, like, say you make it a map art. Or you could do like an MBT editor and edit the world save file. I guess that also work, but that just seems sketch. Oh, I need to block this off so no baby villagers get in there. Because there's like my Unbreaking 3 village in there. No wait, who's in there? The two guys who buy iron and something else. There we go. Because what I want to do, by the way, Lee, that's kind of the spoiler why I ask you what your favorite book is. As a joke, not as a joke, I think it'd be like a really cool project. I want to make a library with actual books, with actual written books. Like, book and quills, full of stories, whatever. However, I can't really do actual books, because that sort of be like copyright law infringement thingamabob. So, can't really just, like, do books. Except if you get, like, the okay, but I doubt anyone would do that. The Bible. That'd be like the only book you could write without needing to risk copyright infringement. But yeah, you like if you could do that, that'd be like really cool. But like you couldn't just write like Harry Potter in Minecraft. Like sure you can, but say I ever want to put out a world download, I couldn't leave the books in because then I'd share Harry Potter to people who may have not bought the book. Thus, copyright infringement. Yay. I mean, sure, I could just do like old books, but I don't happen to have like old books lying around. So I'd also need to get access to the books. I mean, you can go to the library. I could do that, but they're in German, because I'm German. I could write German books, not like I couldn't, but I feel like on a primary English channel that doesn't really make sense, because no one would be able to read the books, except if they know German. I could translate them, but yet again, copyright infringement, and I don't really want to go to jail or get sued for millions and millions of dollars just because, hey, funny idea. So either I need to have a really, really small library of really, really old books, or I need to myself. Oh yeah, that's fair that there's libraries. Yeah, true. I mean, sure, I guess you could do that way. But still, like, I also don't want to write books that would be like really boring. Though to be fair, that's always in the eye of the spectator. Is that right? I think so. So, difficult, difficult, difficult. I mean, copyright runs out, was it 80 or 90 years after death? I think 80. Yeah, that could be possible. So we could technically have books out of the 1900s, but like the early 1900s. I mean, just to make sure, I'd go like 100 years, because you can get extended copyright in certain cases, and I really wouldn't want to risk it. But I don't know, like books written during the First World War, or like after the First World War, I don't know. A book out of the time, and this is going to be very controversial, I'd be interested in reading is Mein Kampf from Adolf Hitler. The thing is, I don't know if that's just Germany or if it's everywhere, but that book is banned. You cannot own the book. It's illegal to own that book. Obviously, because of the author, kinda makes sense. But I'd just be interested to see what they wrote, like what he wrote in that book. Like, I wouldn't say that I'm like, I think just Germany, it's available here. Really? Interesting. Huh. Well, yeah, in Germany, if you own it and someone finds out that you own it, I don't know if you can go to jail, but you'll definitely get hella problems because if you own it. No, it is very frowned upon. Again, for obvious reasons. I'd just be interested what he wrote in there. Like, it's supposed to be his biography, as much as I can remember. But yet again, I can't make sure. I mean, I've always been interested in that time period for two major reasons. I mean, like, I wouldn't ever want that to happen again, and I sure hope it won't. But if we look at the world right now, I feel like there may just be a chance that we get new dictators. And I don't just mean Trump. And so, I mean, like, we see it live in Germany. Of all countries, I mean, of all countries, it makes sense that it'd be Germany, right? We have a very, very bad right movement right now. We have something, I don't exactly know how one would call that in English, or how it's called in America or whatever. It's sort of like a group of people who look at the certain, who look at the, how would one call them? Hang on, I'll find that out. Oh, party. Okay, yeah, sure. Um, there's a group of people that look at each party that is in Germany and check if what they want to do is allowed. Kind of seems to make sense, but and for a while, one group in particular has been put on a watch list because, shocker, we still have very right people in Germany. They didn't just all disappear after the Second World War. Shocker. Um, and for like, I believe it was like at the start of COVID, so for 5 years, they've been on that watch list, and no one did anything against. Like, hey, they were on the watch list. They were suspected to be far right, and finally, like a month ago, it was finally officially decided that they were a right party, a far right party. Technically speaking, they should be banned. Guess what? They are not banned. And during our votes, they got like 20%. That's a fifth of the whole country. What the fuck? And now, one might say, yeah, that's definitely scary. I definitely. And the thing is, right, one would imagine that it's all of the old people. Like, the old people, they just reminisce and they were like, hey, well, we didn't have it too bad under him, so why should they be bad now? And I mean, it's just like a lot of like, just telling false info and saying that Hitler was actually left, which I mean, he obviously wasn't. And they do all of that. And then we had a vote in our school. I wasn't. Wait, was I there at the vote? I don't think so. No, wasn't there at the vote in the school? Because it's not official, right? It was just like more or less as a joke, just to see. Out of like 150 students, each being anything from 18 to, well, even under 18, like 16 to 30, they got 20 votes. Like, that's almost like a sixth of all students. So it means when you just go through the school, every sixth student you see would be fine with having that party rule the country, and that's mental. And we actually have someone in the class. Now, we don't know, right? We don't know. But we are very suspecting that they wouldn't be annoyed, just like that they wouldn't be annoyed if that party were to come to rule the country. The good thing is, in our parliament, we have something called the Brandmauer. If I translate, it'd be sort of called like the burning wall. Basically, it's a metaphor how no other party would cooperate with that bad far-right party. They'd have a burning wall around them that no one would be willing to cross. Makes sense. And when those votes were put in, let's just not say right, but also very, how's that called then? They don't like new things. They reminisce in older times, I'll just say it like that. They got to be like the head party, and their main, I don't know the formal words for them. I don't even really know them in German, so I'm sorry. But like their main spokesman, like Trump, or the American Party, that person has had so many hiccups, I guess. So, about that person, right? They have been in politics for like 5 years. They are 50 or 60, I don't know, they're hella old. They were in like politics around 2000, then dipped because everyone hated that person, and then came back around 2020, and they basically said, well, fuck that burning wall, I don't give a damn, let's just cooperate with them, they seem chill. Of course, that's not a quote for quote, like, that's not like a word for word quote, but I think it's clear what I mean with that. They just didn't care about the burning wall, they just were like, hey, they're chill, let's at least not hate them. Which is also why they still aren't banned, I believe. That person has been the first ever, they aren't the president, but I'm just going to say president for simplicity's sake. Also here, I don't know how the Americans do it, but how it's in Germany, you have a party, that party gets voted, then that party's allowed to vote for a Bundeskanzler. Basically, sort of like the spokesman for the country, right? And then they can put that person into parliament, be like, hey, we want that guy to be that person. And then there is a vote. People can either say, yeah, sure, we accept him as our main spokesman, or they can say, no. And for all of German democratic history, anyone who has been put up for vote has always had the majority. Our new, not president, but again, I'm just going to say president for simplicity's sake, that dude has been the first one in over 20 years to need to do a revote. That's wild. That has never happened. And he's just so hated that even the people out of his own party weren't sure to vote for him, which is mental. Like, how bad do you need to be at your job that even your own people hate you? What the fuck? I mean, like, he got it in the second round, but that's only because there wouldn't really be a different way to go about this, because they had the majority of votes and you couldn't do jack shit about it. Like, they could have done revotes until Kingdom Come, and there wouldn't be anything else they could do. But that's wild. In over 20 years, he is the first person where people just said, fuck that dude, I don't care if you think the same way as I do, I don't like you. That's mental. That is mental. That's... oof. So yeah, great. Yeah, it's definitely weird stuff. I mean, to be specific, how it... Gotta go? Hey, no problem. Was great seeing you, and I hope to catch you soon in your own stream. See ya. But yeah, that's mental. I mean, how it's done when that... I mean, obviously they considered that that may happen, that someone wouldn't get the majority vote. Hey, Mr. Zapp, how you doing? Um, how it's done in the German parliament, they obviously considered that that may happen. So what they said is, if someone fails that vote, doesn't get the majority vote, they have 2 weeks to basically make people change their minds and just like reconsider some stuff that maybe they got hated for, and then they can do a vote again. But they can also just instantaneously do another vote. So they could have, for those 2 weeks, every day had a new vote. And if, after 2 weeks, he would not have gotten the majority vote, another clause would have came. Because that clause would have then said, okay, other parties can put in their vote for a different person, not the person that they put up for election, but just a different person. And if that person got more votes than the original person, they become, again, I'm just going to say president for simplicity's sake, they become president. But because the party of the dude who just was hated as hell, they would have, in any way, how this would have went out, they would have gotten that really hated person to become president. Which is stupid. I mean, like, it makes sense that they ruled it this way, because again, it's really hard to have that situation occur, but damn. You can jump the fence, I can. Back to 200 followers, so hyped. Let's see how long it takes until I lose another one. Ouch. Excuse you? That's like the worst position you can be in as a content creator, like right on that edge to a different new higher number. Because until you get like 5 followers past that point, there just needs to be a few people who just say, hey, don't really like your content anymore, and boom, you're down. Which is crazy annoying. But it makes sense. That's YouTube for you. Mr. Zap, have you finally edited your first video? Joking, I know you don't, but yeah. No, shocker. I'm sorry, I just need to ask that again. Why don't you just start streaming? You don't need to edit anything. You can just sit around, talk shit. Pretty cool. I'm like, it'd definitely be easier for like content-wise, because the German market for content creators, at least on Twitch, is like really small. So I think you could get a few viewers through that for sure. It's not hard to set up. You have all programs you need for that. You need OBS, that's it, and a Twitch account, which you do. So. By the way, how's the server going? I haven't been on in like 5 days. Not good? Ew. What do you mean you think? You're the owner, you should know. I mean, you of all people. Do like an event or something. I mean, you could do like Werewolf like I did. Like, you don't need to play Werewolf at Halloween, you can play it before. I could even get you like the schematics and all that. I doubt I still have the book. But it's not like we can get that up and running again. Or if you want to, you can give me a ring, and then we can like brainstorm. You have a better idea? I mean, sure. Like, if there's content on the server, I'll definitely come back, but for now, I kinda got... I don't want to say I got better things to do, because I'm just breaking dirt, but I kinda got better things to do. It's ringing. Oh, right, yeah, I can't hear Discord because, whoops. Guten Tag. Wie ist es mir jetzt sagen?
Es gibt ja den, dass wenn du mit Google war,
Mhm.
auf Trapdoors schießt, dass die aufgehen.
Ja, du willst Spleef machen.
Ja.
Ja, könnte funny sein.
Jeweils, da ist also wenn halt wenige da sind, dann ist quasi so, dass Löcher einfach aufmachen.
Mhm.
Und vor allem Leute, die können sich dann Boxen, Knöpfe oder so untersuchen, Löcher reinschlagen und von oben, vom Oberrag stehen dann Leute mit Bällen und können die schmeißen.
Achso, also dass das eher die Zuschauer sind, die das dann machen.
Einfach Teammates, die halt quasi
Ah, so, also der erste, der ist unten auf der Plattform, der zweite steht oben.
ja,
Checke. Machen die das, Driplies sofort umfalten? Sonst würde ich sogar sagen, kannst du die ja benutzen. Dann hättest du das automatisch, weißt du? Und die würden sich resetten. Trapdoors muss ja selber wieder zu machen.
das ist halt cool, weil du halt der eine kann halt selber mit seinem AI selber halt Trapdoors hochklappen, der andere von oben hochziehen.
Stimmt auch, ja. Und könnte theoretisch sogar den Boden vor seinem Spieler wieder sicher machen, indem er die wieder hochklappt.
Zum Beispiel.
Ja, das könnte funny sein. Ich glaube halt, du brauchst einfach irgendwas, was ein bisschen längeriger ist. Ne? Das Spiel, das ist safe für ein paar Tage funny, aber danach ist ja auch wieder. Warst du denn seitdem mal wieder online?
Ja.
Okay, wann warst du das letzte Mal davor online? Scheiße, war.
So Leute.
Eieiei, das geht so als Server-Owner nicht. Du bist ja der den Leuten kommuniziert, dass sie online sein sollen, weil, hui, guck mal hier, cooler Server. Wenn du selber ja auf deinem eigenen Server nicht online bist, dann kommunizierst du nur so, boah, gar keinen Bock mehr. Was meinst du, warum ich die ganzen Projekte auf Goosebumps immer geleitet habe? Weil kein anderer Bock hatte. Du könntest ja auch so einen Headhunt, wie ich den machen wollte. Was ja auf Goosebumps komplett nach hinten losgegangen ist, weil keiner mehr online kommen wollte. Mit einem Parcours oder sowas. Ich meine, du kannst hier ja auch ein Creative machen. Ich glaube, das ist jetzt den Leuten sowieso egal. Wäre so eine Idee. Weil wenn du da dann Leuten ein paar Tage Zeit gibst, dann haben sie auch, weißt du, einen Grund online zu kommen, sich vorzubereiten, sowas.
Quasi so ein Spiel einfach respawnen. Und wenn du dein komisches Loch da fertig hast,
Wie soll das sein?
dann spawnst du auf deren
Die lassen die Pfoten von meinem Loch. Kannst du aber mal schön vergessen.
ich weiß nicht, was dein Loch gefüllt hat.
Wo du von meinem Loch geredet hast.
Ja, aber wenn du dann quasi dann dein Casino fertig hast, dann würde man da ja bei so diese Boxer quasi die Spiele in so Mini-Versionen machen oder so. Oder allgemein so Mini-Spiele.
Frage, bis wann willst du den Server weiterleiten? Hat der ein Ende?
Ich muss ja keins aufmachen.
Also lässt du den jetzt einfach abkratzen.
Ja.
Ah. Das ist ja auch der Grund, warum wir Goosebumps beendet haben. Wir haben halt gesagt, ne? Macht keinen Sinn mehr, das jetzt weiterzuleiten. Also, weil. Ja, aber der wird ja auch irgendwann nach Inaktivität gelöscht. Weil ich sag dir so, wie es ist, ich habe jetzt gerade nicht vor, mein Casino da fertig zu bereiten. Und das ist ja dann auch ein Casino und keine Spielplattform für Kinder. Dann wäre das ja kein Casino. Auch wenn Casino allgemein illegal auf Minecraft ist, aber woher
Du
kommt der?
bist kein Tier ins Wasser laufen. Dann Casino.
Vorsichtig, Kollege. Jemand, der höchstwahrscheinlich World Edit an seinem Türmchen da benutzt hat.
So.
Willst du mir erzählen, du hast das Ding in einem Tag gebaut? In 5 Stunden oder sowas.
Ich hab.
Stimmt, du hast in... Ich kann ja nachgucken. Ich habe ja eine Nachricht von dir an dem Tag um 0 Uhr bekommen, wo ich gesehen habe, dass noch kein Tower gebaut wurde und keine 12 Stunden später stand ein Tower. Der so groß ist, dass ich leider bezweifle, dass du den in Survival gebaut hast, besonders mit den geblicksten Blöcken, weil ich glaube auch nicht, dass du so viel Diorite abgebaut hast. Oder soll ich deine Stats nachgucken?
Das wäre auf jeden Fall groß genug.
Ja, ja, mein Loch wäre groß dann genug dafür. Aber trotzdem baue ich das Atlantis höchstwahrscheinlich nicht fertig. Weil ich keinen Bock habe, die Häuser weiter zu designen. Und wie gesagt, wenn, dann kommen da ja Spiele rein. Also, womit ich Geld mache.
Ja,
Kannst ja in dein großes Türmchen die Dinger reinbauen. Du hast ja mehr Platz als sonst wer. Aber dann würde ich empfehlen, das bald zu machen.
das habe ich leider.
Weil wenn du jetzt noch 5 Stunden damit, 5 Wochen damit wartest, dann kann ich dir sagen, dann kommt auch keiner mehr auf den Server, wenn du das geilste Projekt des Jahres gestartet hättest.
Das macht Sinn.
Mhm. Ich weiß schon, wovon ich rede. Ich habe schon 3 Server geleitet. Mitgeleitet. Ja, ich meine ja nur. Wie gesagt, du musst halt den Leuten Grund geben, online zu bleiben. Wenn du keinen Grund hast, dann ist ja klar, dass der Server abkratzt. Das Ziel von den Leuten davor war das End. End ist jetzt fertig. End ist ausgelutscht, weil es gibt nichts mehr im End. Nächster Punkt wäre theoretisch noch ein Krieg, den man aber nicht anzetteln kann, weil keiner online kommt. Das heißt, die beste Sicherheitsmethode ist einfach nicht online zu kommen. Weswegen keiner online kommt. Der Server wird abkratzen. Das ist leider so. Hast du denn schon mal ein Backup von dem Server gezogen? Fragen wir doch mal die nächste Mod-Frage.
Sollte ich.
Keine Ahnung, weil jemand den ganzen Server bomben könnte. Weißt du ja nicht.
Sollte, ja, aber ich würde das dann, glaube ich, eher dann machen, sobald wirklich ein Krieg wird, damit er dann das Backup auf dem neuesten Stande ist.
Dann ist ja gut, dass ich jede Woche ein Backup gezogen habe, weil der Plan würde fett nach hinten losgehen. Das kann ich dir sagen. Weil ich kann auch griefen, ohne dass ich einen Krieg anzettel. Ja, scheiße, wa?
Alles in die Regel, alles in die Regel.
Das ist ja nicht das Problem. Guck mal, ich bin jetzt der mit der TNT-Farm. Ich könnte jetzt in 2 Tagen genug TNT kreieren, dass ich den ganzen Server Carpet bomben könnte. Ich brauche ja nicht mal Infinite TNT, ich kann ja einfach eine TNT Flying Machine machen. Es ist kein Schwein auf dem Server, der mich erkennen könnte, der mich melden könnte, der sagen könnte, halt, hier hat jemand den Server gebombt. Ich muss dafür ja keinen Krieg anzetteln. Wenn ich den Server bomben will, bombe ich den Server. Da, da kann mir dann kacken egal sein, ob ein Krieg angezettelt ist, ob ich danach gebannt werde. Du kennst 90% der Spieler auf dem Server nicht. Wenn die ein Arsch sind, weißt du das nicht, bis irgendwas passiert, was sie als Arsch anzettelt.
Ja,
Das ist halt das Problem. Darum zieht man halt wöchentlich Backups, nicht wenn man Lust drauf hat. Also wenn man es ganz streng machen möchte, können wir auch täglich Backup zogen, aber dafür habe ich nicht genug, doch, dafür habe ich auch genug zu speichern, aber dafür habe ich nicht genug Nerven. Weil ich baue hier jetzt erstmal meine Trading Hall und dann mache ich noch ein bisschen Terraforming, dann baue ich hier Farm. Da habe ich dann leider nicht so viel Zeit, um auf den Server zu kommen, wo Totrose ist. Und da du ja gerade nur Fortnite zockst, kannst du das ja scheinbar verstehen. Versteh mich nicht falsch, ich sage ja auch nicht, dass du nicht nichts anderes mehr machen sollst, ne? Aber verstehst ja auch, wie ich das meine. Du bist natürlich der, der den Leuten zeigt, hey, der Server ist noch cool, komm mal online. Weil, wenn ich sehe, dass selbst der Server-Owner sagt, boah, gerade gar keinen Bock auf diesen toten Server zu gehen, dann ist ja klar, dass ich nicht auf den Server komme. Also, dass ein anderer Spieler mehr Spielzeit hat als du, ist eigentlich schon das erste schlechte Zeichen. Also, gut, wenn du jetzt irgendjemanden wie Block online hast, ne, der 24/7 online ist und nichts anderes macht, dann ist ja klar, dass du da nicht hinterherkommen kannst. Aber wenn Tibra schon mehr Spielzeit hat als du, wo ich sehr stark von ausgehe, schlechtes Zeichen. Aber wie gesagt, du könntest ja auch eigentlich streamen. Das ist ja jetzt auch nicht. Also du musst nur OBS zu Twitch verbinden. Dann kriegst du alle Fenster, die du brauchst, Chat und was nicht alles. Overlays und sonst was kann ich ja auch helfen, das ist jetzt nicht das Problem. Weil da musst du nicht schneiden, da musst du nicht sonst was machen, weißt du? Weil, dass man keinen Bock hat zu schneiden, kann ich verstehen. Darum streame ich ja. Sonst würde ich hier auch ja Videos rausmachen, aber da habe ich halt gar keinen Nerv mehr zu. Seitdem das Lee macht, oder gemacht hat, sagen wir es mal so, ist ja klar, dass ich dann den einfachen Weg nehme, was in meinem Fall halt Stream ist. Ich werde wahrscheinlich irgendwie so Tag 250 oder sowas mal so eine Review machen, was habe ich gemacht und dann halt einfach Footage benutzen, aber das ist ja noch was anderes. Okay, let's see. How much damage? Okay, cool. Iron Golem tot. Sobald ich Richtung Villager Farm gucke, 27 FPS. Uff. Ja, irgendwie kreieren die, glaube ich, so viele Wasserpartikel oder sowas, keine Ahnung. Da sind halt, wie gesagt, über 50 Villager drin, die halt die ganze Zeit Entity Cramming und was nicht alles. Also wenn ich lange genug hingucke, dann stabilisiert sich's wieder, aber wenn ich rumdrehe, dann macht das manchmal ein bisschen Zicken. Aber da meine Frames hier gerade sowieso irgendwie Party machen, fällt einem das gar nicht so auf. Ist auch gut, dass mein Frame-Counter im Stream nicht sichtbar ist. Das wäre richtig mies. Digga, Superflat World mit 60 FPS. Ist wild. Das Problem ist halt bei Superflat, du hast halt immer die Mobcap voll. Durch Slimes und was nicht alles. Das kickt dir halt natürlich so fit in die FPS rein. Okay. The last thing to do is we're going to remove this house. I'm going to leave the villagers down in their little whole for now. I mean, the zombies still can't get to them, so that's hopefully fine. But yeah, we just remove this, and then we are finally done with this damn hole. Finally. Nebenbei, sorry, dass ich jetzt die ganze Zeit wieder auf Englisch wechsle, das ist halt, ne, für... Wie gesagt, falls ich das mal für Content benutze, kann ich ja dann nicht Deutsch modden. Du verstehst mich ja trotzdem. Sollte man zumindest hoffen. Jetzt muss ich hier die... ach, wie heißen sie denn jetzt nochmal? Die Toolsmiths musste ich upgraden, ne? Und ich bin ja so einer, das weißt du ja auch, ich kann ja nichts einfach wegschmeißen. Wenn ich irgendwas habe, benutze ich das ja, bis es weg ist. Ich habe jetzt 10 Stone Pickaxes, 10 Stone Axes mit den richtig tollen Durabilities, die richtig effizient sind und auch gar nicht lange brauchen. Es wird richtig Bock machen, die am Cobblestone Generator abzufahren. Freudensprünge mache ich schon, sieht man noch nicht. Okay, here we go. So that's all of that done. It's only the necessary blocks are there. Well, more or less. Let's quickly remove the rails, just for cleanliness sake. Ich muss auch noch die ganzen Fences weiter reinziehen, weil die nichts gegen die Slimes bringen. There we go. And we are now more or less done. Well, just remembered, we need to still move in those fences. One block. All of them. Which is great. Because, as you all have seen during previous streams and also during this stream, they tend to just jump over the fence, as I expected. So, yeah. That's gonna be fun. Let's just get it over with. Not that we can really choose. Warum hat meine Closed Captions da American gehört? Okay, krass. Das ist so eins der geilsten Tools, das du haben kannst. Einfach inclusive Closed Captions. Untertitel. Weil das ist so, weißt du, das ist sowas Kleines, was eigentlich, das hast du nicht von, zumindest nicht soweit ich weiß, das hast du nicht einfach so installiert. Das ist nicht einfach so da. Das musst du selber installieren. Du musst dafür nichts weiter machen, du redest einfach, es nimmt automatisch auf, es speichert nichts ab, das streamt das nur. Das ist halt, es ist so Double-Edged Sword. Es ist cool, dass du das hast, aber es ist halt schade, dass es das nicht abspeichert, sonst könnte man das ja sogar an die Streams, an die VODs oder sowas dran verbinden, dass du dann auch dass die VODs dann auch Captions hätten. Das ist halt geil, wenn irgendjemand jetzt mal zum Beispiel zu dir reinkommt und der ist taub, der kann dich ja trotzdem hören. Also, ja gut, lesen dann in dem Fall, ne, aber ist halt cool. Aber das haben halt so wenige Streamer. Die Großen, gut, die Großen haben das, glaube ich, aber ist auch irgendwie cool. Ich habe da irgendein Video zu gesehen, ne? Das war um so 3 Uhr morgens. Um 3 Uhr morgens, mir war scheißegal, ob mich Volker oder sonst wer gehört hätte. Ich bin aufgesprungen, installiert. Es gibt aber jetzt langsam so viel, was ich installiert habe. Ich habe hier, dass ich einen Counter haben kann und was nicht alles. Also darf man schön alles manuell installieren, weil es ja auch zu schwer wäre, das einfach so zu installieren. Das ist Mobbing hier. Ja, okay. Theoretisch können die Closed Captions sogar Deutsch, weil ich glaube, die benutzen einen Detektor von Google Translate. Da weiß ich aber nicht so ganz, ob das... Aber die haben halt so eine große Library, die können so viele Sprachen verstehen. And we finally won't get harassed by damn zombies and skeletons and creepers, so that's good. Love it. Love it. Ich sehe gerade, ich habe das noch mal nicht so eingestellt, dass man theoretisch Discord hören kann. Ups. Vergessen mal die Audiosource zuzufügen. Kann ich ja kurz machen. Oder habe ich so und die ist ja versteckt? Ah doch, ich hab's, aber es ist ja versteckt. Sag mal kurz was.
Hallo?
Okay. Man konnte dich ganz kurz im Stream hören. Das geht ja gar nicht. Wie konnte ich nur? Jetzt gerade erstmal mit Lee eine Dreiviertelstunde einfach über KI geredet.
Ich weiß.
Warst schon die ganze Zeit da? Oh. Mensch, schreib doch was. Einfach nur Lurker. Kannst du mal bitte was für mich machen? Ich will mal gucken, wie das aussieht. Geh mal bitte in den Twitch-Chat bei mir, ne? Das ist der Command dafür. Und schreib dann /LURK. Wir gucken, was für eine Nachricht dabei dann kommt.
Slash.
L, also L wie Lukas, U wie Ulrike, R wie Reinhard.
Alles groß oder alles klein oder?
Eigentlich alles klein. Also Lurk.
Unbekannter Fehler, unbekannter Pin/LURK.
Schade. Gibt's die nicht für dich? Oder wurde er durch irgendein Programm von mir hinzugefügt? Nein. Ich kann ja auch einfach bei mir selber schicken, dann habe ich halt eine komische Nachricht für kurz im Chat. Ah, okay. Cool. Weil Lurking ist, du guckst zu, ohne halt zu reden und zu schreiben. Das ist Lurken. Und warum auch immer habe ich einen Command dafür, aber du scheinbar nicht. Ja, das ist so das. Ich will nicht sagen, das ist das Schlimmste, was dir als Streamer passieren kann, aber das Beschissene ist halt. Das kann ich dir nebenbei auch schon mal so im Voraus sagen, falls du wirklich irgendwann mal streamst, ne? Viele, die da so Tipps geben werden, sagen, ne, versteck deinen View-Account oder sowas. Kann ich auch verstehen, warum, weil natürlich, wenn du die ganze Zeit siehst, ne, du hast 3 Stunden gestreamt und keiner guckt dir zu, ist das natürlich erstmal so ein, scheiße. Ist aber natürlich klar, genau wie auf YouTube, deine ersten Videos werden nicht geklickt. Das ist einfach so, ne? Und ich persönlich, ich habe meinen noch angezeigt, also ich kann sehen, dass ich jetzt einen Viewer habe. Aber nur weil da ein steht, heißt nicht, dass du einen Viewer hast. Weil ganz oft hast du auch angeblich einen Viewer, aber das eine Viewer ist dann ein Bot, der extra bei dir in deinem Stream drin ist, um zu tracken. Es gibt nämlich einen einen Twitch-Channel von Twitch geleitet, war in Kooperation mit Twitch oder sowas. Der sammelt so Daten, ne, wie lange streamt jemand, was ist das höchst gestreamte gerade, sowas halt. Und ich glaube, ich weiß es nicht. Ich vermute, dass das der Bot ist, der dir joint. Ich kann es jetzt nicht sagen, ich weiß es nicht. Ich kann ja nicht halt sehen, ich kann ja nicht sehen, wer zuguckt. Aber das ist so mein Best Guess, wer, warum auch immer, genau 7 Minuten nachdem ich anfange zu streamen, jeden Tag in den Stream reinkommt. Und da das so persistent ist, ich habe immer einen Streamer. Ich habe immer einen Viewer. Ganz am Anfang hast du 0, dann kommt 7. Minute auf eine Minute bei mir immer ein Viewer. Und wie gesagt, mein Best Guess ist halt, dass das der Tracker ist. Ich weiß es aber nicht. Es könnte auch sein, dass Twitch das macht, damit du denkst, dass du einen Viewer hast und länger auf der Plattform bleibst. Ich habe keine Ahnung. Ich glaube, ich habe. Wann hatte ich meinen ersten Viewer? Irgendwie im 3. Stream oder sowas? Irgendwie so nach 6 Stunden Stream insgesamt. Das ist halt Stream. Auf YouTube hast du natürlich den Vorteil, du machst dein Content, irgendjemand wird draufklicken, irgendjemand wird draufklicken. Auf Twitch, da ist das automatisch immer so, dass höchste, der mit dem höchsten View-Account am höchsten ist. Das ist einfach so, das ist Twitch. Es gibt Leute wie mich, die filtern immer automatisch extra mit den kleinsten Viewern, was immer ein Viewer ist. Du hast nie einen Streamer mit 0 Viewern, du hast immer mindestens einen Viewer. Wie gesagt, irgendein Bot. Aber das machen halt, ne, wenn du jetzt 100% sagst, 100% gucken Stream, dann sind es vielleicht, wenn überhaupt, 0,5%, die das machen. Also Viewer zu kriegen, schwierig. Viewer zu behalten, schwierig. Du musst halt irgendwie interessant sein. Du musst Unterhaltung führen, ne? Erzähl irgendwas sowas. Was man halt, ne, macht, wenn man mit Leuten Unterhaltung führt, ist ja klar. Was ich mir angewöhnen musste, das wurde mir von mehreren Streamern empfohlen und rückwirkend, also ich habe schon immer verstanden, warum die Leute das machen, aber ich habe es einfach selber von mir aus nicht gemacht. Wenn jemand eine Nachricht schreibt Auch wenn du eine Chatbox hast, liest die Nachricht nochmal vor, damit man weiß, auf welche Nachricht du antwortest, weißt du? Das ist jetzt vielleicht, wie gesagt, wenn du einen Viewer hast, ist das Latte. Also ich habe ja bei Lee jetzt gerade auch nicht jede Nachricht vorgelesen, ne? Aber man sollte schon mal so zumindest grob gucken, dass du nicht, weißt du, irgendjemand schreibt, denkst du, dass es Aliens gibt und du sagst, nee, ich glaube, das ist nicht echt und gleichzeitig schreibt jemand anderes, denkst du, es gibt 9/11. War 9/11 war gefaked oder irgendwie sowas. Dann kannst du damit schon mal ein bisschen entschärfen. Ist natürlich nicht passiert, aber du weißt, wie ich das meine. Man kann dann halt schnell den Kontext verlieren. There we go, finally. Okay, so now this section is more or less good to go for our big building. However, of course, now there's the second great part of needing to farm everything. So, before we start building, let's go ahead and do that. We have our list ready to go somewhere. There we are. So I'm just going to start collecting everything that's on the list. If you want to have an update on how much I have, don't, because I don't know myself. I'll just run down the list and get everything ready to go. Ich schicke jetzt einmal kurz in ChatGPT rein, dass er mir die in Sticks gibt. Das ging auch so fett nach hinten los. Ich habe gedacht, ich kann mit Lee so ein bisschen gechillt über KI reden. Ich bin ja einer, ich benutze ja KI gefühlt den ganzen Tag und dann kommt immer so, boah, KI richtig scheiße. Das war so richtig fett backfired, das war nur so, oh. Ja, KI ist richtig kacke. Ui. Scheiße, wer hier ist denn das hier? Ich hau jetzt mal nicht ganz um. Ähm, ähm, so. Okay, so that's all the grass blocks we need. Now, a thing I want to note before I start building, what I'm going to build, for the floor at least, is likely not going to be the final version. I may switch the floor block, I may switch the location's theme entirely. For now, it is just going to be surrounded by grass blocks, but in the end, it may be a harbor as I planned, or something entirely different. I'm not too sure yet, but just so you know in advance, I haven't scrapped that idea yet. It's just how I'm going to start farming for it. So 12,658 Grasblock. Fertig. Stone. Warum muss es unbedingt Stone sein? Ich habe natürlich auch keine Silk-Touch-Picke. Und was machst du gerade? Oh no, I left my horse. Oops. Bro, this is just an army of slimes. What the fuck? That's straight up bullying. Wow. The audacity. I think the Silk Touch village is actually down in the tunnel. Right. This one's like unbreaking through or something. Oh, what are you? You want unbreaking through? Called it. Ah, it's probably actually not a bad idea. Mending? Nope. Da hat jemand mal wieder richtig mitgedacht. Ich brauche 7 Stacks, das kriege ich nicht mit einer Picke hin. Wie kommt's nebenbei, da du noch wach bist? Wir haben noch fast Mitternacht. Schwein gehabt. Okay. Wandering Trader. Horse. I swear, if that dude does not have dark oak saplings, why are you down in the trench? Jungle. Not a lot I want, but I'm gonna take a few. I'm definitely gonna take brown dye because that is like one of the most rare things you can have. Horn coral, gonna take that, and I don't have any more emeralds. Huh. Well, you don't really have anything else I need, so give me them leads. Leads. That's all that. let's go. Oh, well, I'm gonna stay sorted here anyways. So, jetzt muss ich nur irgendeine Steinfarm bauen.
Was für ein Stein?
Ja, Stein halt.
Ja, Cobblestone, Stone.
Wenn ich Cobblestone brauche, sage ich Cobblestone. Wenn ich Stein sage, brauche ich Stein.
Ja, das wäre gut.
Ja, Lava auf Wasser. Okay.
Ich dir alles. Würde ich dir später empfehlen. Peak oder sowas hast. Oder halt schnell abbaust, dann mach am besten so zwei rein nebeneinander. Wie bei die Base hier.
Mhm.
Wo du dann quasi von den Pistons immer mit den Abstand nach links und rechts geschoben wirst.
Ja, so extrem brauche ich sie jetzt gerade zum Glück noch nicht. Aber es könnte auf jeden Fall sein, dass ich das Design irgendwann mal rein zufällig auf meiner Base haben, auf meiner Welt haben werde.
Put you in Chanel, fly you out to Greece. Baby, come with me and you'll get everything you need. We can hit the strip club, throw some money on my ex, bitch. Never switch up, I ain't worried about the next bitch. Skipping, I can tell when you want me. You get a little nervous when you flying overseas. Ice your wrist up, Master VV's on my necklace. Pull up in truck, we ain't even on the guest list. Another bitch is jealous when you step into the party. She already cracked the ceiling, wanna fuck me off a card. Guess your ex just saw you posting, now he texting you, he sorry. Texting back and picking me and quarter, you already lost. Seen the way that you been. You been getting to the bag, you been. Yeah, I know that off the liquor you be wildin'. Whisper in my ear, you telling me you wanna ride it. Baby, come and ride it. I see you walking and calling. But you wanna fight with me, baby, I see you every night. Just you and me, I wanna fuck you. You already know I wanna fuck you. You already know. I know you see me looking at you. I can tell you love to dance and gotta ask you. It's all eyes in your direction when you pass through. Got the baddest written on you like a tattoo. Why they looking at you? Feel I need to find out. Thought that body and I think I need it right now. You been working, think you need to take some time out. I got a place down in the city we can hide it. Drop the top and ride it. And it might be crazy. All the other bitches shit don't faze me. I was having a bad night, you saved me. I can spend a couple checks like Dave, flex like Dave. You been getting to the bag, you been. Yeah, I know that off the liquor you be wildin'. Whisper in my ear, you telling me you wanna ride it. Baby, come and ride it. I see you walking and calling. But you wanna fuck with me, baby, I see you every night. Just you and me, I wanna fuck you. You already know, you already know I wanna fuck you. You already know. slapping your hand. Like your mama, ho, you watching your tone. I'm on D&D again. I don't want friends, I'm better off just on my own. So I'm on D&D again. I don't wanna talk, it's about time I got back in my zone. I guess I'ma be up on my lonely. No one around is my brody. Look in their eyes and I see that they phony. Cloud never get in my head. I get to this bed better off on my lonely. So my phone on D&D again. And staying that way, don't call me your homie. Got my phone on D&D again. They love eating up drama, but that gotta stop. Always act like a hoe, niggas do that a lot. I don't dap on nobody, I don't even like this shit. Where they want clout, so they do it to pop. I'ma go, but I hope I see you at the top. I already know I'ma make it. Nobody real nowadays, they be faking. Just cause you got dreadlocks don't mean you Jamaican. You can be from the hood, that don't mean that you tough. You can lift all that weight, that don't mean that you buff. You can fake all the streams, but you don't got no shows, nigga. Everyone knows we be seeing the fluff. I don't say much, I be chillin', money coming in clutch. Snakes around me, but now I had enough. And these hoes be fake too, that's why I never cuff. Tell my feelings, now I'm packing them up. Getting racks and now I'm racking them up. Rather have Benjamin Frank as my friend, Jefferson and Jackson. I be stacking them up, right the latest fashion, and she can't get enough. But I had enough of that fake shit. Only time they hear my voice is on playlist. You gotta pay me, I'm done with this lame shit. Never been Louis Vert, no I don't wanna rock with you niggas. Ain't tryna blow up and pop with you niggas. Then had to act fake and take shots with you niggas. I'm a cop, a convertible coupe. You gon' see, give me time, I just gotta get bigger. Wake up 2 seats, it'll only be me, but my lonely ain't dropping the top with you niggas. DOLO, man, start calling my phone. Wish everybody
left the horse again. Alone again. Na, 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 alone again. Well, I'll just leave that running then. So, quotes AFK. Hast du nebenbei auch das Python-Skript gesehen, das ich geschrieben habe?
Was für ein Python-Script?
Ich habe ja ganz viele Mods. Wenn ich jetzt updaten möchte auf 1.21.8. Ich habe ja zum Beispiel diese Mods, die mir eine neue Holz-Stick-Version geben oder sonst was. Ohne die kann ich ja logischerweise nicht updaten. Jetzt habe ich ein Skript, das geht jeden Mod durch, den ich installiert habe. Und guckt, was die neueste Version für den Mod ist. Der listet mir alle möglichen Versionen, die dieser Mod hat. Und schaut dann, was der neueste ist, den alle haben. Und wenn es keine Überstimmung gibt, also sagen wir jetzt mal, weiß ich nicht, alle außer ein Mod haben 1.21.8, dann würde er mir zum Beispiel melden, ey, die neueste Version, die alle Mods machen können, ist 1.21.1 und mit den nur kritischen Mods, also halt die neue Blöcke und sowas hinzufügen, die ich haben muss, ist die neueste Version so und sowas. Dann weiß ich, wohin ich updaten kann. Das greift halt auf Modrinth, die haben eine API, greift darauf zu und ruft die dann halt ab. Läuft auch bis jetzt. Hm. Du auch schon drüber gelesen. Da warst du wahrscheinlich schon da, wo ich über das mit den Items hin und her schicken. Warst du da mit bei?
Ja.
Was ist deine Meinung dazu? Würdest du sagen, Mod reincheaten oder selber nachbauen und dann so tun, wie als hättest du es reinbekommen?
Selber nachbauen.
Ah, okay. Würdest du dann aber sagen, Mod? Du kannst ja jetzt zum Beispiel kein Mod schreiben. Würdest du dann eher sagen Mod oder würdest du dann sagen reincheaten? Also ich würde jetzt sagen, wenn es den Mod gäbe oder wenn ich jemanden kennt, der mir den Mod für günstig oder präferabel natürlich kostenlos schreibt, würde ich sagen Mod. Sonst reincheaten. Weil du cheatest es ja nicht rein. Jemand hat ja die Arbeit dafür gemacht. Nur halt nicht du. Okay, almost there. We just need 40 more. Seven stacks, we need 24. There we go. Okay. Habe ich nicht mehr noch Fisch? Ich will mal eine neue Katze fangen. Sehe ich irgendwo auch eine Katze? Oder ist die weggerannt? Hey, you slimes happen to have seen a cat just hanging around? Because I sure don't. Crop Farm könnte auch schon wieder. Hm. Also ich habe jetzt gerade mal ChatGPT gefragt, der hat genau das gleiche gesagt wie ich. Dass du halt entweder irgendeinen Mod brauchst, der also er hat halt geschrieben, ne, wie es funktionieren könnte. Lässt dich ein Item in einer Art Mailbox in einer Welt platzieren, konvertiert es zu einem verschickbaren Datei, wie zum Beispiel eine JSON- oder NBT-File, lädt es auf den Server oder Peer-to-Peer und erlaubt es dann einem anderen Person mit einem Mod auf einer anderen Singleplayer-World diese Datei zu kontrollieren und dann herunterzuladen, also genau wie ich es gesagt habe. Bah, bin ich gut. Ja. Okay, guys, I think I'm gonna end it here for now. We did already get our stone, but I do want to try getting something to run to share files, so I do want to just quickly try that, which I don't want to do on stream because not really here to when I play the world right now. I'd just be AFK. So to spare you that, I'll see you in the next stream. Have a great yesterday, and for now, goodbye.